You are watching this video. Today happens to be my 1-year wedding anniversary.
Clack it!
And we are going to be talking about what best year of marriage actually looks like. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Oby Abba. If you are new on this channel, thank you so much for tuning in. Kindly click on the subscribe button and ensure to turn on your notification bell so that you get notified whenever new videos are being posted. So today with me, I have my amazing sister-in-law and we'll be talking about a very, very important topic. Before we forge ahead, please, I'd like you to introduce yourself, man.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me. Hi everyone. My name is Oby Abba and I'm the sister-in-law to this amazing woman. I'm a relationship counselor and also a femininity coach. I've been doing this for almost 5 years now. And yeah, that's me.
It's so good to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much for being here with us. We're so good. So I have a couple of questions I would be asking you. By the grace of God, you are 2 years in marriage now.
Yeah.
And I believe that apart from the fact that you have your own personal experience, you have been trained in this line. So I would be asking you a couple of questions. First question I have to ask you today is, before you got married, what did you think your first year of marriage was going to look like?
Honestly, before I got married, what I thought the first year of marriage would look like was what it actually was like. Plenty fights. Because before we got married, we were fighting a lot. There were so many things that we couldn't agree on. And the reason was just because I wasn't patient enough to know who my husband was. I judged him based on societal expectations. This is how men are, this is how men are. That's what we get on social media.
Yeah.
And based on all those things I've heard, I judged him as that kind of person. So I fired him. Back to back, you know. But after I now got married to my husband, I now saw that all this graduate is not getting me anywhere. And I calmed down, took my time to study my husband. I actually saw the kind of person he was. And that's how things started getting different. But the first year,
So it was almost like you came with an ideology that
Yes.
I'm going to be fighting.
yes.
So do you think that mindset you came into marriage with contributed to how many times or how much you guys fought in first year?
Completely.
Oh wow.
You know, completely. I remember when I met my husband said that he doesn't used to see his mom and dad fight. That he doesn't see, and that's how he thinks marriages should be. I'm like, yeah, it's not plenty fighting. People fight. That's how it's supposed to be. We have to fight. Let everyone scatter and then we now arrange back. That's how. And you know, sometimes we have to be careful of what is what's the word I'm going to use now? What is forming our mindset? What are the things we are listening to or the things we are seeing that is forming our mindsets about marriage? Because these things now affect how the marriage will be.
You're very
Yes. So I think yes, it's affected.
What do you think would be the easiest that turned out to be the hardest adjustment you have to do in your marriage for the first year, you know, even as it's going by?
So for me, I think what I thought would be easy but became hard was I grew up in a home where gender role was normalized. And I also picked up that way of how a home should be. But then I now got married and saw that this thing don't fail. You know, as I'm doing all the household chores, I also work and I contribute a little bit, you know, in our finances. So I was like, I'm helping you do your own, help me and do my own now, you know. So I just thought that just the way I took initiative without anybody telling me to help, I helped financially. You should also take initiative and help me. I didn't know how to open my mouth and talk. You know? But when I started opening my mouth and asking for my needs, it's balanced out. It didn't seem like a problem to me anymore.
Okay.
And even when a time came that I wasn't bringing any money financially, my husband was doing it all by himself and still helping me in the house. So, yeah.
Okay, so for me, I think it would be the fact that I had to pipe down a lot.
In what way?
Because my blood is always hot. And I know growing up, my father is a very calm, calm
Yes.
and collected person. And then there were times that I got away with a lot of things because, he was that kind of person. And then I got married to a man that I don't take nonsense. I will not accept this. I had to consciously tell myself to calm down. So that was like one of the, I'm still adjusting by the grace of God, but that was like one of the hardest things I thought it was going to be easy. The person that loves you should accept you for who you are. Yes, it was not like that for me. I had to do a lot of piping down. I'm still doing a lot of piping down. So I think that's one thing that I thought it was going to be easy. And maybe I would just, like you would always say, come into my femininity when I get married to the love of my life. But I saw that I have to work.
Yes.
So
I think this is an aspect of coming into a woman's femininity that many women don't know. Even if you are married to the love of your life, this person, you love the person with all your heart, it doesn't automatically soften you. It's a decision you have to make on your own to soften.
So the next question is, what was your first reality check in your first year of marriage? Like, all that thing you saw that, okay, a lot of times you come into marriage with a lot of fantasy, and then you got into marriage and you were like, is this what it actually looks like? You understand? That's like a reality check. What was it for you in your first year of marriage?
I think for me, it would be that romance is worked on. It doesn't automatically happen. You know the way we see it in movies. Oh, the man will come and pick you up in from your house in his car, he'll buy you flowers, and dress you, get to the date. If romance looks easy in movies, even that movie we still want to go and watch, it looks easy. But in real life, many unromantic things have to happen for the romance to happen. And I had that expectation coming into marriage. I had to tell myself that if I want a date, I have to open my mouth and ask because it might be a priority for me, it might not be a priority for my husband. If I want to be going out every week, I have to say it's what I want, and I have to make sure that I find good restaurants we can go. Yes, I have to now tell him, and suggest to him this and this and that, and he will show up. So I think that was the aspect. Okay.
I think for me, it would be that I remember when we just got married, and then I woke up the second day, and I was looking for breakfast in bed. I was like, because my husband is the kind of person that knows how to cook, so I was just expecting that go into the kitchen, make something for me. I thought I did not see breakfast in bed, and I don't think that I had. Okay, I think the only time my husband served me breakfast in bed was when I was pregnant. I think it was just once or twice. So I think those were the things that I really thought would happen in marriage. There were a lot of things that were I just assumed it was going to be perfect. I wouldn't have to do certain things. And then for me, I used to always say that marriage brought out a lot of strengths I didn't think I had. For somebody who was a very, very don't stress me, I don't like stress. When I got married, I went through a lot of stress, and it wasn't in a bad way because I had to cook, I had to, there were a lot of things I had to do, and I just thought being married, there were times that I just assumed that I didn't think I would take a lot of responsibilities, and then I came into marriage and I thought there was a lot of work.
The reason why I think most of us have this reality check when we come into marriages, when we're growing up, we shared chores with our siblings. Some of us even had people who stayed with us that helped us. We didn't really do much. In your house, maybe it's only one chore you are even doing. Like me, growing up, it's only cooking I did. So when you now come into marriage, you say you sweep, you wash, you mop, you do it's too much now, and our mothers did this, so it's just that most of us were not with them in the early days of the marriage.
Very correct.
So I think this is the reason why we have this reality checks when we come to marriage.
The next question I'll be asking is, did you ever feel like you lost a part of yourself in the process of becoming your wife? Have you ever felt that way?
Oh yes, the cantankerous, argumentative aspect of me. I lost that, and I'm happy for that. Though there was a time when I started working on my femininity where I was just trying to avoid talk. I was just trying to avoid fights and arguments, and I lost that bold confidence side of me. I'm just like a quiet mouse. Anything that wants to happen, let it happen. And most women make this mistake when they want to start working on their femininity. They just lose their voice completely. So I had to tell myself that in the times where I didn't talk or I didn't say my mind, saying your mind is not the problem. It's how you say it that is the issue. And in the times where I was just quiet and say, oh, let him do whatever he does, things spoils. There's a reason why God brings two to become one. One person does not have all the sense to run this marriage and to run effectively. The two of us need to be hand in hand, So I just needed to learn how to express myself, my opinions, And when I was able to do that, I think I got the aspect of me back. I was bold and confident again. But the aspect of me I really lost was this argumentative aspect of me. I always had something to complain. If I don't complain in a day, I'll come say, is everything okay? I always had something to complain about. But yeah, thank God that thing has left me.
We thank God for that. So you said that. Do you think that you lost that in a bad way, or were there things that were there times you feel like, oh, I used to be this person, and because I'm a wife now, I can no longer be that person, like in a bad way? Did it affect your job? Did you have to sacrifice certain areas of your life because you wanted to be a wife? Now that you're a wife, you didn't have to go through any of those.
No. Many women complain that, oh, when I get married, I can't dress the way I used to dress. That's not true. In fact, now I dress more and shower than when I was single, Or they will say, oh, I had to quit my job because of my no. My husband in our house, everybody must achieve his purpose for his life. So you cannot just sit down and say, I'm not doing anything. No. So my husband pushes me. So in that regard, no, I don't think I lost anything.
Okay. Well, for me, I would say that I wouldn't say I lost the part of myself when I became a wife. I just felt like there was a time that I had to. I made a post on Instagram talking about how when I got pregnant, I had to. There were a lot of expectations. I got pregnant almost immediately after I got married, and for me, that was. It changed. It altered a lot of things in my life. I remember getting into marriage. You remember we were even building a 30 days. You remember for
yes,
you remember
yes.
You were motivating me. I was
create content.
So, I started. I think 2 weeks after I was pregnant, I had to cut it. I couldn't even complete 30 days I wanted to do. And then first trimester stress, and I for a year plus I had to. I shut down completely. Okay, so I wouldn't say that it was in a bad way, but I just felt like, it's just reduce my productivity, and I had to pause a lot of things. Yeah. So at the marriage counselor now, this question is just going to be thrown at you. So you answer it. What do you think a lot of couples struggle with in their first year of marriage?
Okay. I think the first thing is understanding themselves. Everybody enters their own ideology that this is the way it's supposed to be. Nobody wants to calm down and take in another person's way of doing things. They come in with the expectation that how their parents' marriage were, or the marriages they've seen, how it was, is how their own should be. That's the first issue that they go through. Another thing that couples struggle with in the first of the marriage is joining their money together. They have been independent for a while. They don't yet know how it's supposed to be. People tell them, oh, do joint accounts. Some people say, oh, keep your money apart. Don't allow your husband to know what you are earning. Everybody comes in with what they think, how money should be in the marriage. So that first year is a little bit weird at first to know how to join their money. And some couples, they said they are very intentional. Year 1 we go, year 10 safe, and they are still not joining their money together. So I think that's another thing that is difficult for couples. So 2 is enough.
Okay, so do you think that couples must join their finances together? Is it must happen that the both of you should have an account where you have a joint account? Okay, so when you talk about joining your money together, what were you saying?
Okay, so what I mean is joining your money in the heart. There shouldn't necessarily be a joint account. But in our mind, our money should be joined. What that means is that whatever the man earns is for the whole family. Whatever the woman earns is for the whole family. There is no secrecy. it's not that you are hiding money because you don't want your husband to know you have money. The man should not be hiding money because he doesn't want his wife to know he has money. You know, we should plan as a family. This person should not have what he wants to use money to do. Me, I have my own money. No, collectively, what do we want to use money to do? So the money should be one in our hearts, and eventually, that's how a family grows. Because when we join our finances together, we achieve goals quicker. We achieve goals quicker, you know. In a situation where the man is not a great manager of resources, he must be humble enough to let his wife take the lead in that aspect. You know, some men, they like, if money enter their hand, they must spend it. You know? So if you know that your wife is not that kind of person, she's the saver, she can save well, allow her to take the lead in that.
Okay. So I want to ask this question for the sake of people who, you know, there are certain couples that it happens that you as a woman, you are the spender, and then your husband is the we talk about him being the
spender.
No, we talk about him being the manager. So let's reverse the case. So a situation whereby you are the one, you have a good life.
Yes.
Let's go out, and then you have the husband that is like, this, you don't spend money like this. What in my marriage I'm spender. My husband is the manager of the finances. So if you leave me,
you spend everything.
How you spend everything? How do you come out to him with all your expenses? Because there are times that you would want, you know, there are things that in my marriage I'm confessing now that I know that buying this thing is a financial mistake. And my husband knows about this is a problem. So I will sneak to the corners and get it. So in situations like this,
ways, you know the mistake is a mistake before you make it. But
I know, but I still want to make it because I'm a baby girl.
Yes. I think men don't really know when it comes to spending money sometimes. Men don't know that some things don't need to be important. We can't see the physical importance of something, but it makes a woman feel good. It makes her feel better about herself. I think men have to know these ones. You know, I had to tell my husband over time, you know, buying this thing, it's not as if it's going to add to my life in it. It adds to my self-esteem.
Yeah, right.
You know, it makes me feel more like a woman. I can't explain it to you, you know. True. So when it comes to that thing, I think my husband has understood over time, and buy, no problem, just buy.
What would you advise most couples to do together more often in their first year of marriage?
They should pray together. They should always pray together. When we pray, our hearts come into alignment. We start to think alike. You know, the spirit of God ministers to each of us. True. So praying together is very important. But if you want your closeness in marriage to abound, abound more, do everything together. When I look at my life, my husband and I, we keep together, we eat together, we watch movies together, we bathe together, we do, you know, and this thing, I don't ever feel like I don't have my husband's attention because we're always doing all these things together. We're always together. We're always talking. There's always something to talk about because we have so many experiences together. So if you want to abound, if you want your closeness to abound, that's the word. Do a lot of things together.
Okay, so you talk about doing a lot of things together. So we talked about cooking together, eating together, in a situation whereby so that we don't establish it and make it look like if you don't do these things together, then you are not doing the right thing. No. Because there are certain exceptions. There are there are couples who don't enjoy doing certain things together. Okay. Yes, for instance, eating together. Do you think it's proper? Do you think it's proper for couples to decide that let's just eat? We can stay in the same room to eat, but we don't have to eat in the same thing?
No, I know it's my husband is same place.
Okay,
my husband is faster than I
have to tell them because of myself.
No, so my husband is too quick.
So we don't eat in the same place with my husband because of course husband eats it, you know.
Yes.
Husband eats it fast. And then there are times where you want to, you know, just settle down as a lady to, you know, eat your food, count your plate, your spoon, and then your husband is like, he has finished everything. So I needed to ask that question so that it not look like I'm doing something wrong, and then, you know, so we have cleared that.
You know, like I said earlier when we were talking about finances and joint accounts, I said it's in the heart. The closeness or the togetherness should be in the heart. It's the same thing with eating. Like me now, I wait till my husband comes back before I eat. We eat breakfast together. When he comes back, we eat lunch together. Like, we just plan around ourselves. Does not mean if I'm very, very hungry, I will not eat. I will eat, you know. Yeah. But I try to plan my life. We try to plan our lives around each other. Well, yes. Even sometimes when my husband is not around, or maybe when he goes to visit his parents, they'll give him food. You say no. Because he will not be hungry to come and eat with me if he eats there, you know. So we just plan around. You must not be from the same. He can't even be from the same place. So I need to ask that question. It's very important to me. He can't be from the same place. No.
So what has your marriage challenged you about what you teach your clients? Do you understand my question? Do you understand my question? How has your marriage challenged you on what you teach your clients?
Okay. Mostly, most of the things that I teach my clients are from the word of God, but more from my experience, you know. So I've tried a lot of things. I've tested it and I've seen that it works. That's why I teach it. You know. So in many areas, in this femininity area, that's why I'm a femininity coach, because this was one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn in my marriage. So that really challenged me. In many areas, even in finances, around sex, dealing with in-laws, all manner of things. It is how my husband and I has gone through issues. We overcame it. Then from there, I teach it. So it has really impacted it a lot.
Okay, thank you very much. This segment is going to be just you giving advice to our audience. So what is the one thing you would tell anyone who is about to get married? What are the things you think they need to prepare for? What are the things you think they need to know so that they don't go into marriage, not prepared? I think for me, one of the things that I enjoyed so much, before I got married was the fact that I had you as my friend. Yes. We had a lot of conversations around marriage, and I remember when we got married, and then I think for the first 3 months it was so cute. It was so cute. I was not in my mind. I think one time I even told my husband, I said, "Should be the same first of mine is just, but we are just enjoying our life." When we had our first fight, I was like, "Okay, this is what they're talking about. These conflicts are not there to separate you. It's there to, when you talk about issues, you work around it, you become better." So I would want you to advise our audience who are going to get married as well.
Resolutions are important. And you see, one thing about human beings is that if something is not broken, we don't see the need to fix it. That's why we don't enter marriage saying these are the resolutions that we need to take for our marriage. We don't enter with it. We wait till trouble arises. Then we'll not start saying, okay, I think we should do this. I think we should do. So from the very beginning of your marriage, set resolutions. This is how we'll speak to each other. If there is conflict, this is what we'll do. This is how we'll deal with outside interference. This is how we'll deal with family. This is how pregnancy will be. This is how the home will be run. This is how our finances will run. Let's discuss it ahead of time. And then when maybe issues come up, we can now adjust as we go. But resolutions are important. This is how this home will be run. We need to set it in place. For those that are not yet married, I will say, please, for your sake, marry the right person. I say for your sake now because and what makes that person the right person is if that person is always willing to try, always willing to adjust. They are always saying that, oh, I'm going to try to be better. That's what makes them the right person. If you are with a human being that will say, the way I know it to be is the way it's going to continue, I'm not going to adjust for you, it's going to be very, very difficult for you, So that's what makes the right person. And then if you should set resolutions in place, always make sure that your partner is a priority. Before your job, before your family, even God say, when you are single, you are concerned with the things of God. But when you are married, you are concerned with the things of God. That means, even if you are a minister in church, before your church people, before the work you are doing in church, you handle your family first. So I think these are a few things that can help you prepare to marriage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Can I ask you a question? Of course. What would you say is the most important lesson that this 1 year has taught you?
I would say that most importantly, it has taught me patience. It's still teaching me patience because I still feel like I'm not a patient person. I wasn't a patient person, and then they would always say marriage begins.
Yes.
It doesn't cover.
Yes.
So for somebody who I always want I want to get things done. You know, there were times that there have been times that my husband has told me that you push me on the go. I can just wake up and say, I want us to do this, I want us to do this, I want us to do that, and then you have to do it. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So there have been times where he has had to compromise, even though he has to break his back. But I still see, I have still seen the need to be patient. So I think in my 1 year of marriage, one of the things that I'm still learning is to be patient. And like I said, calm down and be patient. So the last question I'll be asking you in this video is for you. Do you think that marriage is worth it? Do you think it's worth all the adjustments, all the shenanigans that come with it? At the end of the day, do you think it's really worth it? If you have to advise, you tell our audience to just stay single.
A lot of sacrifice is needed in marriage. A lot of adjustments, a lot of putting yourself aside to welcome the needs of another person. All these things are needed. Just make sure that you're doing it for the right person. That's what makes it worth it.
True.
If you are doing it for someone who sees your efforts, who appreciates you, who loves you, who also there's reciprocity, they reciprocate, you know. If you are doing it for such a person, you will never feel that marriage is not worth it. It will be worth it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'm happy to be here.
It was such a powerful session. And if you stayed up till the end of this video, thank you so much for staying with us till this time. So I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks so much and bye.
Bye.